Charles Barkley talking about the Caitlin Clark phenomenon and the people he blames for blowing this whole Caitlin Clark deal.
People believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just total bullshit. These ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they try. What is going on here? And the thing I love about her, she never says a word. But these ladies, who I love and respect their game, they couldn't have this thing up.
You won't believe what just happened in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark just got named Rookie of the Year. But here's the kicker. It was unanimous. Every single voter picked her. And Angel Reese? She's not happy about it. Like, at all. We're talking full-on meltdown mode. What's going on here? The league's never seen anything like this before. Clark's rookie season wasn't just good, it was historic. Think triple-doubles are rare in the WNBA? Clark's about to change your mind. And that's just the beginning of what she accomplished. Let's talk numbers, because Clark's stats are mind-blowing. She became the first rookie ever to record multiple triple-doubles in a single season.
If Caitlin Clark somehow wins the WNBA championship this year, she will have put together the greatest rookie season in the history of professional sport. Include Caitlin Clark in the conversation, as I like to do, but we're also going to bring the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Caitlin Clark, Deion Sanders, all in the same boat with historical perspective and knowledge. And more than anything, I'm gonna blast the media.
That's not just good, that's game-changing. But wait, there's more. Clark led the entire WNBA in assists. We're talking 8.4 per game, totaling 337 assists over 40 regular season games. She broke the single-season record for assists in her rookie year. That's insane. Most rookies are still figuring out how to pass in the big leagues, and Clark's already rewriting the record books. But Clark wasn't just dishing out assists, she was lighting up the scoreboard too.
He's away, and we'll be locked in the whole way through. Here are the first-round matchups. Liberty versus the Dream, Lynx versus the Mercury, Sun Fever in the 4-5 matchup, the Aces versus the Storm. But how about the Fever?
I feel like it's a great accomplishment, but like there's so much more left to be done. Like, yeah, we made the playoffs. There's 6 regular season games.
Yeah, they're a very dangerous team coming into this postseason. You know, they always tell you that the team that you want to watch out for are the teams that get hot at the right time.
She racked up 769 points in her rookie season. That's not just impressive, it's historic. She smashed the rookie season points record and the single-season franchise record. The previous record holder, her own teammate Kelsey Mitchell. Talk about making an entrance. Now you might be thinking, sure, she's got great stats, but does it translate to wins? Well, let me tell you, Clark didn't just pad her own stats. She transformed her entire team. The Indiana Fever went from being the worst team in the league to making the playoffs for the first time since 2016. That's like taking a rusty old car and turning it into a race car overnight.
She's the first rookie to win WNBA Player of the Month since the award's inception in 2010, and last night it was no exception. They were sky high for Caitlin Clark and the Fever, but to start the season, they had a little bit of a rough go of it. They lost their first 5 games. They ended up 1-8 through their first 9 games. And during that first month, the playoffs, they didn't feel realistic at all. Indy entered the Olympic break 11-15 on the year, and then they really turned it around. They've won 7 of their 8 since. They clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2016, which, by the way, was the last year of Hall of Famer and franchise icon Tamika Catchings.
And get this. The fans are going wild for Clark. The Indiana Fever's home attendance skyrocketed from an average of 1,800 fans to 177,000 this season. That's not just an increase, that's a revolution. Clark isn't just changing the game on the court, she's changing it in the stands too. You know what's even crazier? Clark's doing all this as a rookie. Most players take years to reach this level, if they ever do. But Clark? She's coming in and dominating like she's been in the league for a decade. Let's put this in perspective. Clark's not just having a good rookie year, she's having one of the best seasons in WNBA history, period. She's setting a new standard for what's possible in this league.
They've made Caitlin Clark more interesting. They've made Caitlin Clark the biggest star in American sports. They got this conversation wrong. The ladies, the active players in the WNBA, they haven't screwed up anything. Their little petty jealousy and sniping at Caitlin Clark is why 2 million people are tuning in to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball and to watch a bunch of other women blow layups every night.
Rookies aren't supposed to lead in assists, they're not supposed to break scoring records, and they're definitely not supposed to turn their team into playoff contenders overnight. But Clark, she's doing all of that and more. Clark's dominance isn't the whole story. There's another rookie who thinks she deserves the spotlight. Why is Angel Reese feeling robbed? And what's behind her surprising MVP vote?
Oh, you knew they were going to come for you. You had to know that. Now, to the degree that they're doing so, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. You had a decisive advantage because they made the mistake of letting you know who they are, whoever those people are. That's not the case with all, it's not the case with most, but those who screech the loudest get the most attention sometimes. And that's what the worst of cynics and critics do.
Angel Reese isn't just sitting quietly in the corner, she's making noise, and it's not the kind you want to ignore. While everyone's talking about Clark's incredible season, Reese is shouting, "Hey, what about me?" And you know what? She might have a point. Let's talk numbers, because Reese's stats are no joke. She's averaging a double-double with 13.6 points and 13.1 rebounds per game.
Caitlin Clark became the first ever rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double twice in the same season. In that game, Clark scored her 103-point shot this season, becoming just the 6th woman. My WNBA Player of the Week, surprise, surprise, Indiana Fever rookie sensation, Caitlin Clark. There's nothing really to say other than that. She's winning Rookie of the Year. She's a top candidate for League MVP, honestly.
That's not just good, that's dominant. Most rookies struggle to make an impact, but Reese, she's out there bullying veterans and making it look easy. But here's where things get wild. Reese got a 4th place vote in the MVP race. Yeah, you heard that right, MVP, as a rookie. That's like a high school kid getting invited to the Oscars. It's unheard of, and it's got everyone talking. Now, you might be thinking, wait, how did Reese get an MVP vote when her team didn't even make the playoffs? That's the million-dollar question, folks.
WNBA Player of the Week. There have only been 40 triple-doubles in the history of the WNBA. Cheryl Swoops recorded the first WNBA triple-double during the 1999 season, while Caitlin Clark logged the most recent triple-double earlier this week. She now has 102 on the season and is 19 away from Diana Taurasi in 2nd place and 26 away from UNESCO of the New York Liberty. She ain't beating Asia Wilson for the MVP, but she's beating Angel Reese for the Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's over. And props to Angel Reese, who's had a good year, by the way.
The Chicago Sky finished below 500, and they're watching the playoffs from home. But Reese, she's got people thinking she's MVP material. This MVP vote is causing more drama than a reality TV show. Some people are saying it's ridiculous. They're arguing that Reese's vote is taking away from players who had better seasons. I mean, her own teammate, Chennedy Carter, led the Sky in scoring and didn't get a single MVP vote. Talk about awkward locker room conversations. But Reese, she's not letting the haters get her down. She took to social media saying, "Woke up again a very blessed girl. A very happy girl." That's some serious confidence right there. She's facing all this scrutiny, and she's still walking around with her head held high.
The hottest team in the WNBA right now is the Indiana Fever. Kelsey Mitchell has been balling. Lexi Hall has been an X factor, and that was a great chess move, just getting this lineup with chemistry. As for this win streak, though, Caitlin has created 224 points between points scored herself and points assisted. That's almost 45 points per game, and the most by any player ever during a 5-game win.
You know what's really interesting about all this? It's not just about Reese and Clark. It's about something bigger. It's about recognition in the WNBA. Think about it. How many WNBA players can you name off the top of your head? For a lot of people, that list is pretty short. And that's the problem Reese is fighting against. In a league where superstars like Clark can overshadow everyone else, players like Reese are fighting tooth and nail for every bit of recognition they can get. It's not just about stats or wins.
The Caitlin Clark situation where Kennedy Carter side hipped her, basically checked her with a, side hip move and whatever, knocking her to the ground. One of the things that I highlighted was that Caitlin Clark's the golden goose. She happens to be a terrific talent who's white and very, very marketable. It's all justifiable because they were people that were pounding the pavement and going through so much to help elevate the WNBA's profile long before Caitlin Clark ever came along, and yet were denied that level of recognition.
It's about being seen, being valued, and getting the respect they deserve. And let's be real, it's not easy. The WNBA doesn't get the same attention as the NBA. Every highlight, every stat, every vote matters so much more. When you're fighting for the spotlight, every little bit counts. So when Reese sees Clark getting all this attention, all these accolades, it's not just jealousy, it's frustration. It's the feeling that no matter how hard she works, no matter how good her stats are, she's always going to be in someone else's shadow. You think this is just about hurt feelings and social media drama? Think again. The WNBA is facing a crossroads, and it's all because of two rookies. How deep does this go, and what does it mean for the league's future? Let's talk about how Clark and Reese are shaking things up. This rivalry isn't just entertaining.
The WNBA was nothing before Caitlin Clark, and she has made it into something. I know how great she is because of Caitlin Clark. The Arike Amagawali, and I'm sorry if I messed up the name, the girl in Dallas. That girl's a baller. These guys are all working off of platforms that were already built long before they got there, and they have not elevated that platform.
It's reshaping the future of women's basketball, for better or worse. And trust me, everyone's feeling the effects. First off, let's talk about the fans. The Clark-Reese drama is like a magnet, pulling in new viewers left and right. People who've never watched a WNBA game before are suddenly tuning in. Why? Because everyone loves a good rivalry, and these two are delivering big time. But it's not just about more eyeballs on screens. The WNBA is changing how they market the whole league. They're focusing on individual stars more than ever before. It's like they've taken a page out of the NBA's playbook, and they're running with it.
The Atlanta Dream set the record for the biggest crowd to watch a WNBA game in Georgia history.
Pretty exciting. One of the big reasons fans flock to State Farm Arena is, of course, the Caitlin Clark effect.
Caitlin Clark tonight. Oh, gotta watch number 22. I've been watching Caitlin for a couple of years, and since then I've dreamed about coming to a game.
She's with just brought a lot to the WNBA and also to the game itself and for women, so women's sports.
Think about it. When was the last time you saw this much buzz around the WNBA? Clark and Reese are on everyone's lips, and the league is loving it. They're plastering their faces everywhere, from billboards to social media. It's working too. More people are talking about women's basketball than ever before. But here's where it gets tricky. Not everyone's thrilled about this new direction. Some WNBA veterans are feeling left out in the cold. They've been grinding for years, building the league from the ground up. Now they're watching these rookies get all the attention. Can you blame them for feeling a little salty?
First time they've tasted the playoffs since 2016, but don't think for a second they're just content to be in the postseason.
And this Indiana Fever team has most certainly gotten hot at the right time. They figured out how to gel with each other, the chemistry that they've built, the backcourt between Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, who Mitchell is really coming in to this season.
It's not just about hurt feelings either. This focus on individual stars is changing team dynamics. Some players are worried it might mess with the whole team-first mentality. After all, basketball's a team sport, right? But when all the spotlight's on one or two players, it can be hard to remember that. And let's not forget about the racial dynamics at play here. Some fans and players are questioning if there's a bias in how the league and media are covering different players. It's a sensitive topic, but it's one that needs to be addressed. So what's the WNBA to do? They're walking a tightrope here.
And it's after Clark was picked. Stores rolled out Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever jerseys and t-shirts.
Fans are on the hunt for anything and everything Clark, now that she's officially a member of the Indiana Fever.
Away from Christmas time through, I mean, we didn't have nearly enough in stock for just the regular jersey t-shirts and whatnot. And then it's just been nonstop orders coming in still today.
Dick Weiss posted that more Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever jerseys were sold in one day than the Cowboys sold last year for the entire team.
On one hand, Clark and Reese are bringing in new fans and excitement. That's huge for a league that's always fighting for more recognition. But on the other hand, they can't afford to alienate their veteran players or hardcore fans. The league's trying to find a balance, but it's not easy. They want to capitalize on the star power of players like Clark and Reese, but they also need to make sure they're giving props to the players who've been holding it down for years. Here's the thing though, this whole situation might be exactly what the WNBA needs. It's forcing them to have tough conversations about marketing, player recognition, and the future of the league. And sometimes a little shakeup is what you need to move forward. So where does this leave us? The WNBA is at a crossroads, and the Clark-Reese rivalry is right at the center of it all. It's not just about two players anymore. It's about the entire future of women's basketball.